Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I'm streaming some 2D4X like I often do most weekends. I think like 99% weekends I stream this. This is a game I'm making in Godot 4.4 now, stable, .NET. It's the C# version, and it's a post-apocalyptic game. We're using these 7 counties as test counties. Oh yeah, I forgot this broke and we had to fix it. That was strange. Yeah, that was very strange. Just out of the blue, these settings stopped working, and I did just re-put them in there. The mapping, and I still don't know why I have this exit or this escape thing there. Maybe I was using the map editor. I don't know. Remember. Anyways, what are we working on today? This fucking cord, man. I tell you, this cord. It's gonna be the end of me one day. I'm just gonna go insane because of this goddamn cord. Anyways, but today we worked on last weekend. We worked on trying to get rid of these fucking crash. What? Oh, let's stop this. The new stable version has crashed. Well done. Let's start the task manager up. And let's end Godot engine. And let's put this down. Good start to the stream. Let's start this. I think this happened last stream too, where like at the beginning it just froze and then it never did it again. Maybe it has something to do with when I start OBS, because I start whatever. Actually, I start this after OBS. Usually. All right, let's try this again. So we get these 32 errors. We have this on verbose. These error reports. That's why we're getting these 3 other bugs because they're yellow. I don't know what they are. We're just gonna ignore them. Well, I didn't get them this time because I didn't know. Oh my god, I'm not even prepared at all. I didn't open up Visual Studio. So let's pop open, this. Oh, I clicked it twice. It takes a long time for this thing to open. Then we'll get those. So this is what happens with these errors. You only get them if you've modified something, and you get 32 the first time, usually, and then after that, like 8. It's different numbers after that. I haven't figured out the order. But 32, so there's like, it's all right, whatever. We fucked around with this. Chat tried to help me. Everybody tried to help me. I got an issue in with Godot. At this point, I just think it's a Godot issue. And there's nothing I can do about it. Though someone did just put in a suggestion that it has something to do with these dictionaries like this that I'm using. And to try to make a file name for each one of these, which is fucking crazy because I use these things all the time. The person put in a suggestion. This is actually a thing that happens in IT and in programming. It's an interesting thing that I noticed. I like to ramble on in these streams, so if you're expecting like hardcore, I also obviously, because I want to get my game done. But if you're expecting me to not ramble, then you're in for a surprise. But anyways, the suggestion was just don't use Godot collection dictionaries, and that's not really a solution though. That's like just a, there's that joke that, the guy goes to the doctor and he says that whenever he does this, his arm hurts, and the doctor says, well, don't do that. That's the thing. You're not curing the problem. You're just curing the symptom by not doing it. But so it doesn't really solve the problem. And it also, there's reasons why I want to use these, whatever. We've already talked about this last week, but long story short, we're going to ignore those bugs, those errors for now. I'm going to constantly think about them offline, and that will just be the thing that I'm going to do during that time period. I'm just checking to make sure I'm actually streaming because, whatever. So today, though, what we're going to work on is I have this project. This is all open source because I like to, have people have the ability to look at my crappy code. We're going to do so we want so what we've been working on this whole time is if you go into here and you go into your hero, they have this equipment. It starts out, we should probably have this run at the beginning, but we're not going to. It starts out that you can adjust your equipment. I need to change this font so it's not light gray. But whatever, we're not going to do that either. This is all very ugly. We're going to do a beautification project at one point. I was actually thinking before I started the stream that, man, this is going to be a lot of work for the whatever artist I hire. But anyways, when you check this, it should have actually filled in this right here with the equipment. Huh. I wonder if it has to, the first time it has to be after 4 o'clock. That would seem strange. Whoops. Whoops. Well, it broke. It broke since last weekend. Nice. Let's figure out what we did here. Maybe, we did upgrade. I upgraded. Oh, let's fix that first. This is gonna be. I'm feeling confident about the joys and quality of the stream. Oh, I'm already forgetting here. I slept in an extra hour, and I thought that would give me some extra power, some extra thought process, some extra brain power. But obviously, we got all sorts of shit going on. We have crashing Godot. We have broken signals, it looks like. So when we click this, it's supposed to update that, but it's not. We're not getting any errors either, which is fun. So we'll fix that, and then when that happens, basically, there's another way we can look at it. It needs to take what's equipped here out of the storage. So there needs to be storage, and then it's possible that something has changed and we just lost there is no storage here. So we can look in goods and see, oh yeah, so we don't have any of this stuff. We should have one of each. So something else has gone wrong there. We have 93 remnants for some reason. So probably my guess would be that when I was dicking around with something, I changed. So that actually probably is working correctly. So should update. We have like a test. One of them is canned goods is like equipped as like medical equipment or something, just for this test. It's obviously canned goods. It's not going to be a medical equipment. So this is probably working correctly. It's just that there's nothing, that we don't have enough of the resources. Maybe I got that far and I'm just forgetting. It needs to check that there's stuff in there. I probably got that far and I forgot. That's what's happening. It's not that it's broken. My memory is dog shit. So the quartermaster, oh, look at this. We have this commented out. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. This is good stuff here. I don't remember why we commented this, because we were working on that other thing the whole time. Let's put this back. Let's see what happens. Oh, right. Okay. So it's coming back to me. What is happening is I copied this code out of where it was before to this quartermaster script. So I'm trying to break down the scripts instead of having these long scripts that are 300 lines long or whatever. I'm trying to break them down into smaller scripts that handle things that are more specific. Mostly because I think that's how you're supposed to do it. That's the main reason why I'm doing that. And so on here, the problem is that this was in a different spot. It was in a for loop, and it was using this I to get the equipment. And now that it's out of the for loop, it can't use this I right here. And so we got to figure out a way for it to count to 5, basically. But I don't want to just type in, a for loop that counts to 5 without because then when I add an equipment, let's say I want to add an equipment type, it will break and I'll wonder why. So I want to do it so it's a little bit more stable. So this is going through and it's generating a list. It goes through all the goods that the county has, which is a list that we can actually look at it in the game here. It's this list right here. And so it goes through this list and it's comparing to this equipment type, which is an enum, which I don't have open. I usually keep it right there. So we'll open that up because I fucked with this whole thing a bunch to try to fix that error. And like I said, chat helped a lot. Many suggestions. I started getting grumpy towards the end because I was just like, fuck this, you know? And, you know, fuck your suggestion. I apologize. I was, you know, where are we at? All enums. Where are you hiding all enums? Public classes. There we go. We're going to pin this because this is where it goes. We're going to pin this because that's where that goes. And then we're going to go look for equipment type. So it goes through this 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was skipping one, and then it was going through these. And we probably could just have it go through these, you know, these as well. I don't know how to do that, I don't think. I mean, I know how to do a for loop. But with an enum, it's a little different, I think. But we can figure it out. So what we have here is this is going through. It's creating a list. So the reason why we're having it create a list here is so once again, so I can easily add stuff to the goods, the county goods, and it will continue to work instead of creating like a manual list because it will just break. You know, we don't want it to just break and have to manually fix stuff. There's enough manual garbage in this so far. So it was doing what it was doing is each county good, it was checking for is it equal to this equipment type, and if it is, and it adds it because it's a type of equipment, it adds it to the list. And then we're returning this list. Oh, look, we're using a C# list here, which would, you know, that's the preferred method, but then we got to use Godot collection list. So I feel like this is weirdly written, even without the for loop that was in there. It used to work, but just because it works doesn't mean that it's written in a good fashion, a timely manner, an intelligent manner. Whatever. So it's looking at county good type, good data, and then it's doing the value. So we have the good data, and if the equipment data is equal to this type, it adds it to the list. What do we do with this list again? I don't remember. So then we have this equipment list. Joker, how's it going? For key in my enum.keys, if the newest equipment is set to false, then it picks the, yeah, we already know that. Oh, so this is the part where we move this out of here. So then and this is the for loop we moved it out of. Because we want to break this into smaller pieces. It was just a big long method. How was you mentioned your tutorial, your Saturday tutorial? How'd it go? How'd it turn out? You said it was a long one. So this is going through each person's, and it was passing in I for the thing, for that I that we're getting up here. And we need this equipment list here. I mean, there's a way we could do this that would be pretty easy. We would go equipment list equals this, and then we would pass in I, and then we would go back to here, and we would take int I for each string name in, oh, for the thing I was talking about earlier. The for loop through a list of enums. I don't need the name though. I just need the equipment type or the enum itself. But this dumb way works too. I think it works. Let's save everything. My brain's still warming up today. You're on 4.4? Stable? Mine crashed when I ran it the first time. So it's not stable. All right, let's see here. I noticed earlier when I was clicking on this that you only can click on parts of it. So it doesn't run when the game starts. I don't think it matters that much because they just have to wait till 4 o'clock. 4 a.m. the first day. And then I'm wondering, so this is now I'm wondering maybe I should, where was that shit? It's right here. No, it's right. We don't need that open. We don't need this open, I hope. Personality. Oh yeah, I am still excited about messing around with these interfaces. Where the fuck was that thing? I don't think we need this stuff open either. That was for those tests. We don't need this stuff open either, I don't think. County data, I think, is where we were moving this out of. Yeah. I need the weekend starts every Saturday. I gotta remember everything I was working on, what the name of all of the files are, where everything is. I cannot believe that my memory is this terrible. When I was younger, good God, my memory was amazing. And I thought I always blame it on my years of drinking, but my parents were my parents, they're 20 years older than me. They have the same problem. And then also I was talking to a friend who doesn't drink, who's never really been a drinker, and his memory is dog shit too. It's just like your memory just falls apart. We need nanotechnology. You just inject it and it repairs your brain. Where the fuck were we looking at here? So where was I? Okay, I went to this reference. Here we go. This is the quartermaster. So then where the fuck is this thing? This is also in the quartermaster. All right. I guess, is that the key? I looked it up once, but I forget what it said, and I'm not making a joke. I literally forget what it said. Like ways to improve your memory. One of my friends has an Apple Watch, and he just constantly can't remember where his phone is, so he's constantly, like, anytime anything, he's just like, I don't remember about it, because you got to be attached to your phone these days. You ever do the thing where, like, your phone's in your hand, and you're like, where's my phone? Yeah, I should do some memory. This should help, right? This should help. Equip heroes. So this should definitely be in the quartermaster. That makes sense. Do we want to move this out though and do what you were saying, Joe? Like, is that a better idea? Yeah, that's fine. This will do its trick. This is fine too. And this is just some test of some sort. Yeah, this is to make sure that the shit's working. So this is just a test. This is just for testing. And then we clear the list. This all works. I can't remember how or why it works, but it does work. So the problem that we're up against here is we need to take this equipment out of the. Currently, it doesn't take it away from their goods. So if they have, it's not even checking if they have any of these goods. So that's we looked at this earlier, and I said, oh, it shouldn't work because they don't have zero. They have zero, so that's why it isn't working. We're actually not even checking for that. So we need to check for that first to see if they have equipment, and then if they don't, it like basically goes down looking for the next level of equipment, and it goes down the list. And so we'll have to set up like some test equipment, and it will try all of the different equipment types as it goes down. So that way you can have like 3 different types of guns. Let's say, in the future there'll be like 10 or something, but it will have the best one, then like second best, and then the worst, and it would go down and try to equip it by the newest if you have that checkbox. So let's see here. So on this equip heroes, we're going to have it do this. It's going to have to run through this all the time though. Like once a day. We get this equipment list, generate the equipment list, but this actually isn't right. So that's what we were working on, was this thing, because it's not actually right because we're not checking to see if there's any equipment in there. We're just, it's on the list even though it's 0. So we would have to check if this is equal to that and greater than 0. And I can't remember what good data has in it. It has amounts, but are we using, see, I did something strange a long time ago where there's amount here and then there's an amount somewhere else. We save them differently depending on this certain thing. This particular case, we are using that amount. So we can use, I think, key value pair, value, amount is greater than 0. So actually, it's not even, we don't even need to go down the list. It's just going to be, if it's at 0, it won't add it to the list. So let's save this and then let's run this again. See, I'm starting to get warmed up a little bit. I should do memory games and then like a little bit of programming, then start streaming. That's never going to happen, but that's what I should do. Get the brain jogged up here. So Wanda, now if we click this, I think it should show nothing. Nothing should happen. There we go. So that's how that worked. But now we need to apply some stuff to the county data. We have like a county generation script where it generates the counties. We'll first do the fuck is this? Let's just have an empty thing in here. All right, good job. Pass, Josh. So what we're going to do is, this is just for testing, sets all resources to a starting amount. Oh, look, I put a global in here. I forgot about that. So in here, I guess we could do it in the inspector. The problem I've been having with this, doing stuff in the inspector with just this particular thing is I forget that I've set it here, and I wonder why the game is running differently. So I change it in the inspector, but it's not in the code. And then I look at the code, and the code says 0, and and the inspector says 1. But I forgot that I set it in the inspector. So let's look at our goods, make sure that we have 1. Okay, that didn't work. Number of perishable goods, 0. Oh, this isn't what we think this is. This is Starting amount of each good, 100. Doesn't look like it's 100. I see remnants gets 100. Starting amount of each good equals 100. For each county good type in county goods, the starting amount of each good is 100. This is obviously not working. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. When is this running? Copy and assign goods. This has to be after the initial storage is set. Assign max storage to, I don't remember what this is. So, hey, Stinklewigs, how's it going? I did shave. I should have shaved my head too, but I was too lazy. There's a new bathroom, and I need to order new clippers too, and I forgot. I don't remember what that thing was that I just deleted, so that's why I deleted it. So where is this copy and assign goods? It says down here, update scavengeable. It says in copy and assign goods, assign a copy of each good to each county. That's count county max storage. Assign max storage to goods. It says this has to be after the initial storage is set. Well, thank you. We are working on getting, when the hero equips something, it needs to actually take it out of the county inventory, basically. And it doesn't even check now. Well, I just wrote the code where it makes sure there's more than 0. But then I just noticed something weird happening. We should be getting 100 of each of these, but it looks like we're only getting... I wonder where this is coming from if these other ones are all 0. It looks like this might be in the wrong order. Update goods. Assign max storage to goods. So what does this thing do? This has been the storage has been actually a pain in my ass from day one, because you get fractions of numbers. Dividing 100 by 3 turns out to be a pain in my ass. Okay, so it's going down and it says the max amount is this. So I'm guessing what's happening. It looks like we have a GD print in here. Look at all this shit. We should turn on verbose, I think. Where was that? Verbose. I think it was this thing. What have you been working on, Singlewinks? Or not working on? Let's go back up to here. So initial storage should be... I streamed on my other channel on Wednesday, which I haven't done in months, and it was like I forgot how to stream on that channel. It was strange. Like I forgot everything. Once again, talking about my memory again. Good God, come on. It's in the editor. Test the research item. We want I guess we could search in here. It already has 0 remnants in Initial storage, initial counting storage is 500. There's the thing. Count all available county storage. This is dumb. This is the thing. It's all commented out. I wonder if that's what I just deleted. Assign max storage to goods. This is where I have a feeling this is what's happening is this is not getting applied. What was the other thing I wanted to get rid of? Something about offensive personality right here. Hero personality. This is one of the interfaces. I'm just gonna comment this out real quick. Random personality, we don't need this. Wanting to do more creative stuff? Do you mean like music and painting, sculptures, like that type of thing? Or restart this guy. I keep, I got this drum set behind me. It's there. So I don't know if I put my hand up here, you can see that symbol. Anyways, it's not my drum set. It's a long story, but basically I'm holding it in storage for somebody and they can come get it whenever they want. And they just haven't. And they basically said that they probably never will. And I fucked around with it a little bit, and I have no excuse not to fuck around with it more. You know what I mean? I should be fucking around with it all the time. Why did we run this? Oh, we wanted to see what popped out here. So this all looks good. But yeah, I know music-wise and, more creative stuff, I feel like I should just jump on there, like, for 30 minutes a day. It'd probably be a good workout, too, like, because I'm so sedentary. And I also, like, have my bass guitar and another guitar that I even bought new strings for the guitar, and I got as far as stringing it, and then I just put it against the wall, and that just sits there, tempting me. Well, not even tempting me, gathering dust. So this looks correct. This is getting the initial thing we want there. And this is that was here that it did this? I think this is happening too late. Yeah, this is happening. So there's a note in here that wherever the fuck that went, that said this has to be after that. I think this is, look at this thing. Look at that GD print. Good God, there's 50 of them. Look at this one. Some testing went on in here. So I think what the problem is we want to be in this script first because I was in the wrong script. This update goods, I think, has to be after this. Let's see what happens. And we'll put a note on it if that's the case. Yeah, I should. Used to be an avid songwriter. Man, do you have any, like, published songs? Is that what they call it? Oh, look, we got 8 this time. Goods. Okay, well, that didn't work. That made that worse. Well, where was this thing? Okay, so that was there. Let's do this just to make sure. This whole thing could probably be done in one for each, maybe? The fuck am I talking about? Let's go back to this. I want to see moving that thing around. What is going on there? Didn't I turn off verbose? I guess I turned off the wrong verbose. Yeah, so the update goods is not in there. I think what this is saying is that instead of having these things buried inside, like this one makes sense to have it, but then instead of having a bunch of things buried inside of each other, because it gets kind of confusing. Uh, like these two, that's perfect. They're doing one thing. Uh, is that what you were talking about though with creative stuff? Is like doing things like that? Because you should. And then update goods, we have this where it's doing two different things. Okay, so this is assigning, copy and assign the goods, update scavengeable resources. This is in the county level stuff, and this is just like the county, what the county has scavengeable resources. Copy and assign goods. So this is just duplicating things, which hopefully that is not messed up, because I hate fucking with the duplication stuff. And then after that, this is just some empty thing, which I don't know why I put this here. And then we go count county max storage. Okay, that is just one thing. And then we have assign max storage to goods. And then so this has happened. But where are we assigning the actual things? Copy and assign goods. I think this is the thing that I think this has to be here, but the other thing needs to be somewhere else. This needs to be like right here. Oh, we don't have a county data? Fine. For each good data, let's do this. Let's put this, assign starting resources, starting goods to county. We're going to pass in. No, we're not going to do that at all. We're going to do this. We're going to put this in here. And then, because we are going to have, I think that's what this is. Oh, no. I know what this is, but I don't know why I'm just going to delete this. Fuck this thing. Just fuck that thing. For each. We got this same exact thing right here. Yeah, and then we'll go like this. We'll go like this. I think I was trying to be clever there by setting up something ahead of time that was not. For each county in county global parents get cast, county data equals county data. All right. I hate sometimes going back to my old code that is like this code. This particular resource thing is a huge pain in my ass. I'm calling them resources, but goods. These goods are a huge pain in my ass. There we go. Yeah, that was in the wrong place. How have you been testing this for months and not noticed that? All right, so then we go back to this guy. And if we check this, now we have canned goods. I originally was calling these things resources because they're resources. In game, they're called resources, right? Or that's the best word for them is resources. So like, iron, fucking guns, these are all resources. But the problem is Godot uses a thing called resources that's built into Godot. There's something called a resource. And so the problem is that as I'm streaming, I'm talking about two different things that are named the same, and it's too fucking confusing. So I renamed all the things in game to goods, which I actually don't like that name. I don't like goods. I think that's what like Victoria 3 uses or something. But I don't like that name, but that's what we're using. So they're goods, and the inventory is holding the goods. Now, I'm not at this point. I'm not going to change it. We're stuck with goods. It's going to be goods forever. But yes, to answer your question, the longest way I possibly could. The goods are what the inventory holds the goods. And so this is working. Now we need to do something different, which is, so this guy, Ruby here, is using the newest equipment. Let's turn this off. Now it's using the oldest equipment. So that works because this equipment has this, because there is equipment now to check. I guess we need to leave it like this for now. We've lied and we've said Can Good is a better weapon than primitive, or better scouting equipment than primitive scout. We just have that in there for testing. So the Can Good is the best right now scouting equipment. Primitive scouting equipment is the worst. So we can use that for testing. This is working as expected, but we need to take one now. When it gets assigned, we need to take one. And then we also need to check to make sure that if it's already there, they don't take one. You know, like he's got to take one out of here. And then we also want it so that if he already has one, he doesn't take it. And if he switches equipment, he needs to put one back and then take a different one. And we are going to, at some point, have supplies for the army that they carry around with them. But we're going to do that much later. So we're setting this up half-ass for later. So I want all the methods to be able to be used later with minor adjustments. So now, first things first, when we the quartermaster, we have the equipment list. When we apply this, I think it's in the quartermaster somewhere. Yeah, these equipping, we get the equipment list. We're assigning it right here. But we need to change this. We need to write a method for these. Isn't there? No, that's a different thing. I was thinking, like, isn't there a little caret or whatever they call it you put here to make it not say -1? So update newest equipment. We already have everything on the list of what is equipment. We know that there's equipment there. We know that there's some equipment there. So we're going to need to I was trying to think of if we want to do a method the way we pass in like a bool for this part. We don't need to pass in a bool. We can use this bool. So we can have one method in here. We'll call this method assign equipment to hero. Let's just call it assign equipment because I want to be able to use this for so if we go back over here and we look at this dude, his subordinates, we're also going to try to equip the same thing as he has. So I want to use this method when we get to that part. That's a fucking 100 years from here. No, I didn't check this thing. It is working. Okay. So assign equipment. We have equip heroes. This should probably be equip everybody, but I guess we'll deal with that later. So assign equipment. I guess. I'm always get hung up on the names of my methods. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with that. So we need to first, let's do this. Let's pretend like this newest equipment doesn't matter right now, because it will make our lives easier for this first part, and then we'll make it more complicated as we go. So the hero, the first thing we need to check is, does the hero have the correct equipment? Because if he's already equipped, we don't want to equip him again. So if we're going to need a population data then in here. Population data. If population data, there's probably an easier way. I'm going to ask ChatGPT if they're, because what we can do, what is this thing that we're getting? This is a good data. ChatGPT. Is there a way to do this better? Let's just see what it says with that little amount of information. Conditional logic. So what I'm thinking here, this is fine. I can copy of this. What I'm thinking here is, in this method, we actually go good data, good data equals, are we like looping through? We are. Okay. We want, this thing actually needs to go. I control Z'd while we weren't looking at that. This thing, we get our equipment list. Then we do this, but we say, instead of this, we do a good data. We have the good data, good to equip, we'll call it. And then we'll make this look less ugly. KD it and see what it does. I had a feeling it would not. And then we're going to assign this equipment. We're going to pass in good to equip here. And then to the population data. Then we'll do in here, we'll do good data. Good to equip. And then in here, we don't need this anymore because we have this good data. If the population data dot equipment, oh, we need to know which one it's, actually we know. This would be gone then. Because we're doing this here. So good to equip, we know the good to equip. If use newest equipment. Sometimes I just have to take a deep breath in response to my typos. Okay, so this is going to be, we're going to know with this thing, we have, this is the good to equip. We already know this, but we don't know where it's going to go because we're using this I to figure that out. We're doing I -1. So we also should probably pass in here the all enums dot equipment type, called equipment type. We're kind of passing a lot of stuff in here, but whatever. And then, so this is going to be, why does that seem wrong? That I minus 1, that I minus 1. Because I think what's going on is the population data doesn't have that none in there. So when the equipment type is coming out as, yeah, that's dumb. So what we were doing is we're comparing equipment. The I is a number, but it's not actually going to this. It's going to this other, it's comparing to this, which is an array of 5, and there's no none. Is that right? That seems like, why would I think that's a dumb way to do it. Let me look here. Let's go up. I mean, this is what we want, but how was I dragging? Was I dragging this in? I think this is the one where I actually set it to 5 ahead of time, wherever the fuck that is, which I had, no? Do I have like a generic one? Sometimes I make like a generic one. What is this hero? I would be down here. I don't for population data. How was I setting this thing? I minus 1. I thought I was remembering everything, but obviously I'm not. Quartermaster. Population equipment length. And I'm starting on 1, but I was subtracting 1 from the I. And I don't remember, I mean, it was working, so obviously it was, there's a reason to do it. I think we're skipping the none on this part, but that because it equals the equipment doesn't have none in it. No, these are 2 different things. I'm confusing 2 different things. No, this is right. This is the equipment type. And this, see, we're getting the I here, which it starts at 1 because we had to put that in there because we needed it to match this thing. Let's just make these match so that we're not trying to subtract and add to, but I need to look at, see, there's no none type is what's going on. Like I'm going over this thing because it would be up here. Sometimes I wonder about what the fuck I was thinking. I mean, we have to have this none type because there's a resource. There's resources that are none of these types, so we have to have the none type. And so we were using like the thing to match them. Which was the -1 thing, but I think the way I was doing it was bad, and I probably didn't have a problem with it last weekend, but this weekend I don't like it. And now I have to figure out why I don't like it. And I have to figure out what where I'm assigning this. You know, I don't think I'm using faith that my code is good. There is no, so this is a nothing. Let me see. I gotta remember what the fuck I was doing here. What is this thing? Generate equipment list. That's not what we care about. Equip heroes. See, there's a reason why there's all these comments everywhere, is so that I can remember this stuff easier. It doesn't always help though. Let's set this thing on and this thing on. That was some research stuff. I'm looking forward to doing that research thing too, is have the AI figure out what research it's going to build. And that will also lead to the personalities. Like that shit's going to be fun. Population equipment. What's this? Inventory. All right, so this is populate, not population, populate equipment. So this says equipment I equals text. All right, so what we're doing, I don't think we can, so I think, all right, so that -1 thing can't be removed because we need to hide the none thing. And so what we're doing, I think it looks like, is we're just skipping over it, but there shouldn't be a method that does that. It shouldn't be just -1 in the code. So when this comes down though, we are getting, let's see, we have the equipment list. It generates the equipment list. And then we're getting the actual piece of equipment. And the piece of equipment actually has the equipment type already in it. It already knows the equipment type. The good to equip knows its own equipment type. So we don't need to pass that in because it knows what type of equipment it is. And it's going to do this 5 times. And so this, I'm just mentally checking that I'm understanding how my own code works here. So this good type needs to now check against the array. So if yeah, we need to check against the array. I was just suddenly thinking like maybe we don't use an array. Oh wow, I got some things, some rendering lag. Maybe we don't use an array. We could just have them set in there as nah. All right, so we'll do equipment. Good to equip, good type, or equipment type. Does this thing not have? Where's my good data? Oh, it's inside the equipment data. Good God. Equipment type. Oh, we have to turn this into an int though. This is one of these days. I don't know. So this should all be in here. This should turn this into an int. This is kind of bizarre. So we're having this. Let's do this. Int. equipment slot equals cut. So this should get good to equip, which we're passing in, equipment data that's on the good to equip and the equipment type. You know, there's another way we could do this other check. It just dawned on me. How are we doing this? Oh, I guess we already have it in there with that little null puppy. Null puppy? Okay, so this is the equipment slot is an array. And then this would be equal to, see the thing, this is where I'm gonna ask ChatGPT this. We want to check actually if this equipment, oh, but we can't check actually the actual data because these are going to be different. They're going to have like different indexes. So we need to check like their name or something. We need to check their name. Do we have a good name? And if they're the same, we don't do anything with it. There we go. GD print already equipped that good. Yeah, I guess that's the way to do it. I'm going to take a quick break though. Hopefully this break will let my brain warm up. Man, I have so many excuses every time I stream about my shitty abilities. All right, let me pause my music you guys can't hear. And I'm going to take a quick break. It'll be less than 5 minutes. Let me put my break timer. All right, I'll be right back. All right. Man, that was 4 minutes. Felt like it was 2. These breaks sometimes. Let's see. That was me trying not to say all right. Let's go back through this because I feel like I'm not doing anything right today. So we got our equipment list. Goods to equip. We're using this ChatGPT thing. Assign the equipment. This is more of a check, though. Let's rename this to check for already equipped. So the only check this is doing currently is to see if it's the same equipment that's already equipped. And I guess we'll run this. I'm not sure this is going to test anything. Because if we go to Phyllis here, we got a bug. What was the bug? Whoops. Null reference error, eh? So there's nothing here yet. So the first thing we should put a question mark here. Now I want to ask, so I misunderstood how the question marks worked until I think last stream. And they don't mean exact. So it's checking a null check here, but sometimes it means different things. Well, to me it did. What does the question mark do in this? So I'm trying to like wrap my head around how this thing exactly works. Yeah, so it's a null condition mod, also called the safe navigation operator. If it is not null, it accesses normally. If it is null, the whole expression evaluates null instead of throwing a null. Okay, so this is the part that I'm not, because I was getting a bug and I didn't understand what the bug, why I was getting it, and it was because the if else was not working how I thought it would work. If it exists, it compares that, which is what we want it to do. If it is null, the left side becomes null, making the whole expression false without throwing an error. Okay, so this should now be false. And then what we do here is we actually assign the equipment to the slot. So we need to have so this currently is going to check if it's already there and if it's null, and it will say it's already equipped. Already equipped that good. Now it should say let's put a $sign here. Good equipment. Good to equip. Get out of here. Good to equip. Dot good name is already equipped. That's what we should say here. And then this is going to go equals good to equip. I think. And then we'll have our first check done, and then we can go to our next check. I think we're still getting these. I think we need to turn off more. I think I turned off the wrong verbose. Verbose standard output. Maybe it wasn't verbose. All right, Wanda. Okay, we get another bug here. Oh no, we got the crash again. This is definitely not stable. I mean, I know it can be my code, obviously. Um, yeah, this is crashed. That's two. That's two. Once an hour. All right. Task manager. Could also be my computer. It could be a variety of things. But I generally don't get. We were talking. Oh, look. There's two of them because of this. We were talking about this last time, I think, because people were complaining about crashing, and I was like, I don't get crashes. Then here we are on 4.4, and I'm getting crashes on the stable one. So I'm guessing that they're gonna do some updates. I'm gonna try, since I have the dictionary thing that I wanted in. So dictionary is now showing the inspector, and I can assign in the inspector. That's why I moved to 4.4 early. Once they get this really stable, I'm actually not going to. I'm gonna let somebody else deal with all the development bugs. I'm not gonna go on the developer thing. So what were we doing here? We needed to check this person. Let's see if it crashes Godot again. See, it doesn't. So it's probably not my code. It's what? Object is not set to an instance. So this, we'll put a GD print here. Good to equip. Good to equip, good name. So at this point, it should always have one, because if we look at our goods, they have 100 of each. So it should go through this, and it should. But nothing's been assigned yet. Oh, I think I got a problem with check for already assigned. No, this is wrong. So let's do this. Let's break this out into smaller things. So first off, if population data equipment slot is equal to null, then we're going to assign the good thing. There, we're gonna do that, and then we can actually return. Let's not return yet. Then we're gonna go else if we can get that out of there. We'll put this in here. I know this is ugly. Don't worry about it. If we could probably move this over here, and then this can go. All right. So it's going to check if it's null, and if it's null, if there's nothing there yet, we can just slap this thing in there, and then it's gonna. We'll make this look better in a second. And then if this, it's just going to check if it's the same thing. I guess we could put an else in here. GD prints. Good name is different than currently equipped. And then get out of there. Yep. So my day job, there's a lot of Microsoft Windows updates, just a lot of updates in general, and I sure wish they would test them for longer before they release them. I know that seems, everyone wants the updates right away. Okay, but we don't necessarily need the update right away. Null exception. What line are we on here? I guess we can just click on this. So it thinks that there's no good being returned. So there must be something wrong with my, oh, good to equip, canned good. Good to equip, canned good. It says it's croaking on this line, but this, it printed this line. Good data and equipment list. Okay, wait. So it got through the first one, and then it's returning null. On the next one, because there isn't one, there isn't a good to be equipped. There's only the for our testing, only the resource. But why does it croak on that? Shouldn't it just print out null? Let's do this. So yeah, let's do this. If good to equip is not equal to null, then do this. Else, whoops, else GD print good to equip is null. I feel like it should have it should just print this null here. But maybe my memory is fucked up. I gotta stop talking about how terrible my memory is. It's pointless. It is pointless. Okay, good to equip is null. So then here, it's like, hey, it's trying to turn this int into this thing, but this is null. We've passed in a null thing. So what we can do is move this up to here temporarily. This is going to get even more. We've just started on the complications of this. Man, I'm getting more. It's only a tiny, tiny bit of lag or of dropped things, but usually I don't get any. I hope everything's going fine over here. I restarted my computer before it started. There, on my other computer when I streamed, I had played some Tarkov before I streamed, and I didn't restart, and things were fucked up, man. They were fucked up. Okay, so we have a problem here. Canned goods is in the offensive equipment slot. And I don't think it is offensive equipment, but it could be. Let's double check. I vaguely remember doing that one time, but I thought I changed it. Yeah, it's reconnaissance. So we need that -1 thing to happen. And that was, so when we're doing this check to equip, we're assigning this here, when in reality, this should be a -1. I'm going to make sure that this is the spot, and then we'll write a little method to stick in there. This also needs to be a -1 though too. And this does as well. Yeah, so like all of these, because of that none thing, and we'll write a method and we'll put it in there. But we'll just check to make sure that my hypothesis is correct here. Do I have any coffee left? Nope. No coffee. Oh, something else changed. Oh, fish appeared. Did I have fish set as medical equipment? I sure do. Good fish is already equipped. Why didn't canned goods change? Good to equip is null. So it should have changed to primitive. Good to equip. Good to equip is different than the current. Okay, so we don't have that. We would put this. I guess I could have done it this way. Whoops. I could have done it this way. And then we put that there because it's different. And if it's different, it should be equipping it. Look at our beautiful airs there. And then, so we got canned goods, and then we have primitive. So this is back to working, and it actually is checking this, and it's already equipped the same thing. So then we'll have to write another method. So this is working. I know that seems like it's dog shit, but we need to write a new method for this. We'll put this in all enums, I guess, and we'll call it something here. Match slots or something. Public static get correct equipment slots. And we'll pass in, we're going to return an int, and we'll pass in all enums dot equipment type, and we'll call this equipment type, and then we'll go return equipment slots. Whoa. For some reason I thought I could just do something here. Equipment slot equals int equipment type. Can I just do this? Whoop, no, what? Why did I do that? And then we're going to return equipment slot. All right, so then, I know this is the same thing, but I feel like that's what you're supposed to be doing, is making these little methods. Where was this? This is in the quartermaster. So we'll go all enums get correct equipment slot, and then we'll pass in this thing. We're passing in an int right here, but we should be passing in this thing. I'll get rid of that. Then we can go. It's kind of long. There we go. Now let's run this again. We'll make things better each time we do it. Yeah, I wonder what's causing. Oh, you know, maybe this lag spikes happen when a Godot crashes. I'm at 29. They're just like, they're minuscule amount. I guess we have to test it, right? Good fish is already equipped. All right, so this is working how we want it. I guess I'm going to move these down here. I try to make this bigger so it's easier for chat to read and my old man eyes. What is it at the end of this? So now we just got to start subtracting and adding things. So check if already equipped. So this is if it's null. It needs to take one good from the county data goods. So this is if it's there's nothing there, so it needs to take one. It needs to take 0 goods from there. And then here it needs to take 1 good, and it needs to put back the current good. All right, so those are the 3 different things. So this is null. So that's going to assign that. So we need to we should make a method, and we'll call this take good from storage. Now this should be in the hall master though, because the hall master does that. So let's put this in here somewhere. Return half of construction cost. I wrote that already? Huh. Public static void. We're definitely not returning. Whoops. We're not returning anything. As in C# returning, not. So we need to pass in, though, a good data. Good data. And so then we're going to go, we need a county data as well. Let's start it at that over here, because we need to know which county we're doing this to. And then we need to go, do we know that though at this point? We have a population data, and it has a location, so we can pass that in. You know what we could do? Where's this run? It runs right here. We can actually have this thing return something. Speaking of returning things, we can have this thing return something, and then we can just in this list we could just, or in this code we could just have another line instead of this buried. The more I have methods buried inside methods, the more I don't like it, because I have to go through, like, let's say I'm trying to figure out how something works. I have to drill down into all these different methods, and I don't know what the correct way is, but I don't like it. So I was doing some IT. I hate mentioning it, but I'm an IT manager in real life, and I was doing something with like group policies, sort of. I'm trying to like make this as simple as possible. Basically, back in the day when I first started, there's all these policies, these things that you can assign a computer. So basically, on a computer, you can assign different things for that are required, they're not required, whatever, like password, complexity, how often the screen goes to sleep, stuff like that. And it's very complicated, and there's hundreds and hundreds of things you can assign. And so when I first started at my job, there was one policy that controlled all of these things. So you would go in, you would drill into this policy, and it would have all of these different things, and you would have to search through this policy, right? And so then the owner would say, hey, can you change this policy? Let's say we want more complex passwords. And so they'd say, change this policy. So I would go into the policy thing and I would drill down into it. And I would search through this giant policy with hundreds of things, hundreds of changes, literally hundreds of changes. And I'd be, oh, okay, here's the password one. And I would adjust it. And then like a month later, he would be like, we don't want to change it back to how it was. And so I would go back and I would go through all the crap again. And then I would find the password one and I'd fix it, right? I found that to be extremely tedious because the changes were happening regularly and it was a pain in my ass. So what I did is I broke out of that policy. Whenever I had to change one, I would pull out that policy and make it its own policy. So it goes down a list, an order of importance, basically. It would hit the first most important policy. Then it would hit my password policy. And so it'd have two policies instead of one policy with everything in it. I would have two policies, one policy with almost everything in it, and then one with the password policy, right? And as time passed, I was breaking more and more policies out. And everyone's like, no, you can't do that. You got to put them all in this one default policy. And they'd be flipping the fuck out. Anyone who would look at it would be like very upset that I was doing that. Because then we're applying like 15 policies or 20 policies to a computer instead of one policy that has 1,000 things in it, right? Because I'm talking hundreds of different changes. Every computer, you're putting hundreds of different things out there. But I found it so much easier to find what you're looking for from a list that is not buried in this, because they're not named, like it's not like password complexity, I think is actually named that, but sometimes they're named crazy shit. You would go into the policy and it'd be called, idle time for computer, and that would actually mean something else completely different, and it would be like if it was enabled, so I would name the policy turn off idle time or whatever. So it's easy to find and it was easy to do. So I'm applying the same thing to my programming life, even though everyone was like, you don't do that, it's bad. I just ignored them and it worked great. It actually worked so well. Because also, so this is the other thing. If a policy fails to apply to a computer, it tells you. Like you can, because these are all computers connected to the network. It says like this policy failed. Well, if they're all in one policy, it just says this one failed, and then it gives you a little bit of information. But if you have them all as separate policies, it tells you specifically this one failed. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking about here. Is like a similar thing. Instead of having everything buried inside something, like where this has things inside it, and inside it, it feels like it would be better to have them just in an easy list for me to read. And at least that's what I'm finding. I guess that was a long story for me just to say this is what I've found here, is that I don't want this. So we could have this thing return the good, and it could be null. So this could equip it, and then we return, we say a good data here, and then we say good, so this would be return good to equip. It's making sure I'm returning the right one. And then this one would return null. And then this one would return good to equip. And I think that's, yeah. So then here, we would have good to equip would equal this. And then here, we would say, whatever I was calling that on the hall master, take good from storage. We go back to here. This might be dumb, and I might change it later. We would put in the good to equip, but we would also need to put in the county that we're in. So for that, we need to get the county from this population. Oh, actually, we have it right here. We'll just put in this county data then. And then we'll do this. What's your problem? It doesn't exist. Well, that's true. Is Hallmaster have one? Yeah. There we go. And so then over here, so now it's easier for me to read. I mean, I guess this isn't. So the Hallmaster is going to take this. If good to a is not equal is equal to null, get the fuck out of here. So that's the first step. If the good master or the good data is equal to null, get the fuck out. And next, we're going to take this county data goods, good data good. Is it good type? One of these is like a list of all the different. I think it's good type. Nope. I would be wrong. We want. Yeah, I guess it's county good type. Yeah, it is. And this is also. Oh, I guess I could have just hovered over that. This is a dictionary. A dictionary of good datas by good type. Amount. We're just taking one equals. I guess we can do it this way. Sorry, I'm shaking my head at just life in general here. There's another way to do this. Why am I doing it this way? There we go. We're just going to take one out of there. Remove one good from the county. Let's go back to our thing here. So this is in the wrong spot, though, isn't it? This is not going to work. It would work better if it was right here. If it was buried in here, it would actually work better. Maybe I should just do it that way. Because this is going to return the good type, but we also say it needs to take one and it needs to put back one. There's another way. So there's another thing that's going to happen later when we have these subordinates. It's going to need to count them. Like if we have 5 people, it needs to take 5 goods. You know, I've been playing a lot of Stellaris, and I'm impressed by how optimized Stellaris is compared to other Paradox games. Like everything is so much quicker. Like normally, maybe late game it grinds to a halt, but I keep restarting my games. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Okay, so we'll put it back. We'll bury this in here. We'll bury it in here. So we'll go here. We're gonna return void here. But the quartermaster, we need to pass in a county data. We can pull it from the population, but I think we already have it right here. I know we already have it right here, I should say. All right, check for already equipped. And adjust county goods. So then we're going to go in here. We got to take from storage. This is going to do nothing. We're going to get rid of this thing. We're going to take one. It's this exact thing. And then this, we're also going to need to place, take good from storage. Hall master, place good in storage. We'll pass it county data, and we'll do goods to equip, and we'll do this. I think we're going to want to change this, though, to be, we pass in a number, in amount. Because what, we could actually change this into one thing and then just have it pass in a negative number. Because this should be here. And it's basically the same, whoops, not cut. It's basically the same code, but this would be a plus plus. What is your problem? Oh, this is called good to equip, or good data. Add. So there's two problems with this code, just in my opinion here. We could make this one, adjust goods in storage, and we can pass in a number. And the reason why we could do that is probably we're going to be doing this all the time. In fact, we might already have. We probably deduct stockpile goods. We don't have it yet, but we probably should. Have one thing that is the Hall Master has one method that you take and you like, see, this one has their, but it's actually not, it's not taking. Casper, how's it going? Oh, where are you on YouTube? Is it acting funny? Sometimes sometimes I can't tell what the hell's going on in either of these. It's probably better to have, except this isn't subtracting it from the, is this the first time we're subtracting an amount from a resource? I find that hard to believe. I mean, we could be. That's impossible. Yeah, like, gather the stockpile goods. We're doing something. Look at all these comments. They can see on the screen, but they don't go back and forth, the chat comments. And I should mess with it some more, because I think I had it working for a while where, like, if someone posted a thing on YouTube, it would also post on, Twitch. And then I don't know what happened, if I changed programs or what happened, or if it was getting like an echo, like it would be like kind of not forever, but two things were going back and forth. Because I know that I also had it where you could put the exclamation Discord and it would work on both. And I don't know, I updated some, so I fucking fucked something up. I don't know. But how's life? I don't know if I asked that. Okay, here it is. Here's one where we've done this. See, I knew I had to have done this at some point. I feel like we should have already had this written, a little method that just does this. Like we put in the amount and we put in if it's a negative or a positive. We pass in a negative or a positive amount. And then we can just, it just seems like that should have already existed. It's like it's such a little thing. Instead of having this, like this should be the thing that works for every time we do that. And having these two different things, like here's a plus and a positive and a negative. Let's put that in. Let's do that at some point. I don't want to get too. I want to finish what I'm doing here because otherwise I'm going to be sidetracked forever. So this should be in the hall master. Hall master needs a method that adjusts a county goods, adjusts the county goods dictionary. And then I'm going to actually put this pretty close to the top. Because we might do it like later today or tomorrow. I just think it's probably better to in these things. Like right here. Yeah. To have that instead of these special things. And I don't want to get too deep into it because then it's more work later. So this should... I mean, I think then we can just put like a negative right there. Oh, I guess you can't do it that way, huh? You can't just make, oh, this is good data. But if we had an int, if we had an int, we could go like whatever test equals 10, and then you just can go int new test equals negative test, right? I think you can just do that and it's going to make it a negative. Actually, I don't know if I've ever done that, but it should. And then we can just have one thing. Yeah, it seems like it, right? And then we can just have, when we're subtracting, we pass in a negative, and when we're adding, we pass in a positive. We have one method. We're going to be adjusting the county goods amount all the time. Like that's part of... I mean, we must have already be doing it because we're doing it with production and county improvements. I'm surprised this doesn't exist already. I'm shocked at my past self. It's not in there. Maybe it is and it's just lost. Well, now I want to look. Okay, so if we have... See, I knew this was going to happen. I would get all sidetracked. Our county improvement data... Actually, is probably where it is. If I slap this somewhere, or it could be in the banker. Generate goods produced without bonus. You know, the easiest way to find how this works is, let's pin this stuff back. And if we follow along the path here of this calculate goods to work production, what are we returning here? Today's goods generated, add county resource. So we do have something already here, it's just the banker's doing it. And so this is a, yeah, so we already have this. Toot, how's it going? Thank you for the comment, by the way. I like that there was all those errors in the comment. I almost put that in my reply about that comment because it's just how it is. But yeah, in general, it's about that launching the engine through in the archive. So I've been long. So like this link here, I just updated to 4.4. You know, the stable one. This is a link to this. Is that what you're talking about? And actually, I'm not using the console one. What does this one look like? I'm gonna save this because I'm curious. I don't use that one. What does this bring up? Oh, is this what that one dude was talking about? I know I'm bringing up a conversation from in the issues. He was saying, look in the terminal. Okay, so this gives me different information. I've actually never ran the console part. Oh, but it's just that. This is different, right? Yeah, this just gives me this. I didn't even know you could see different information here. That's how I assume they were searching for that. Like searching in the GitHub for that. I didn't know that it did this. This weirded me out earlier today that this was in the middle of these errors. Oh, so you were able to get it down and you put all enums to separate file. So is it give you 10, Casper, when you first run it? Like, cause it's you only get to 32 when you first run it, I think. Then it goes to 8. Then it goes to so I did not know that this console was different than this console. But if it's only like, so this will usually only give you like 8. Whoops. That was a misclick. Doesn't work on the arrays. Oh, you didn't. So it was just the enums, huh? So each enum had its own file. So let me go look. So each one of these got their own file. Man, that's going to be painful. So anyways, you get 32 when you first run it, but then after that it goes, usually it's 8 on mine. Did you get a bunch of weird shit from having to use the .godot file? I didn't get any because I didn't change anything. You got to change something. That's the get your hopes up that you fix something error. Yeah, so there's the 32, and then after this it changes. I think it goes down to a different number. Let's just get rid of that fake line there. I think it's just a Godot error. Oh, we got 30 this time. Oh, fucking. So you gotta put these as a separate file. So this would be like up here. Like this thing would be gone. And they would each be their own file though. Man, that's a lot of. Then I have to remember what they're called. Yeah, I think it's just a Godot. Like, I think we're battling some. This has happened to me in the past. I think I mentioned this, where I battled something, and then it turned out it was just a Godot issue. And I've actually had 2 crashes of Godot today, where they just froze, and that generally doesn't happen very frequently to me. So I think there might be something else going on. It could be my computer. I obviously got to throw in that thing. Yeah, I don't know VS that much. I think I finally got breakpoints to work, and then I just never have used them. Oh, you mean refactoring as in you can like do things? Can you just like hit a key and that will turn that into its own file? All right, what were we doing? We never tested that thing. We never tested that this worked. We did find out that I already have this in the banker. The banker is already doing the thing, and we should move that and use the banker. You know, not have 5 different ones of these. But let's see if this. Well, we need to check first how many goods we have. So we have 100 across the board. That's how it should be. Let's go to Catherine here. Let's click this. Let's close this. Let's look at our goods. Canned food and fish have been applied. Let's go back to her. Let's uncheck this. So she has different stuff now. And that didn't work. So there's one we're missing one check, but it didn't put this back either. The fish it shouldn't have done anything with, but the canned goods, it should have put back the canned goods and taken this one. So we're missing one thing. One option. Where are we at here? Quartermaster. And we should just move this. We should move the banker thing. Let's just do it. Let's put the banker where it's supposed to. The banker deals with something else now. It used to deal with this, but it doesn't. So let's open up the banker and look here. I'm just going to do this way. Banker, what are you up to? The banker generates scavenged resources? That's weird. Add county resource. So this is the one that we want to adjust. So a county, it's still called a county resource. So let's rename it first off. This is going to be county good. Okay. You're gonna do it there? Well, good. So this, we're passing in the amount, resource type, and the county data. This is exactly what I was just talking about. Like, this is exactly what we need. It already exists. This should be, though, in the hall master. Well, let's think about this. So the banker counts things. That's what the banker does. The banker counts things, the hall master hauls things, and the quartermaster hauls weapons or equipment. So I think this should be in the hall master because it's hauling goods back and forth. Adjust county goods. And then this thing, we're going to change this here. We'll fix these errors in a second. I guess we'll fix them right now. This is in the banker. We got one more here. I'm so glad I figured out how static shit works. It was a nightmare before I understood this shit. I also want to kind of go through these today too. They're beginning to annoy me and just fix them. 90% of these are just like 3 clicks and it's fixed. The All right, so that shouldn't matter, that part, because we're just doing this. I know these names are weird. I was thinking add county goods would work because we're adding negatives, but then. So for this, we're passing in, because I'm going to move this up to here. Let's copy this over to what we'll just replace this. Whoops. Hallmaster. So we need a county data, and then the county resource type. We have a county data. County resource type should be good to equip. County good type, and then the amount is just going to be 1. This is take good. It's going to be -1, and then this should work there. That should work there. And this should work here. And we were missing something though. So which one let's see. So if we go through, it needs to take 1 from the county good, check already equipped. So this one, if, actually I'm going to run this without adding that other complication. Banker, Hallmaster, amount. One more time. Oh, we got 3 more lags, 3 more missed frames. I know it's like nothing, but it's still weird. So Betty here. We know this isn't going to work. There's a problem with it. So but we did get the canned goods and the foods. The fish have been taken away. So this shouldn't be adjusted. Primitive scanning equipment should get 1 taken, and the other thing should go, whoops, go back. But it doesn't. So that second time, we're counting on, oh, it doesn't know what was there. It doesn't know what was there. We're done with that, hopefully. So let's see, when it hits, let's update these notes here. It needs to take 1 from the county. Check if it's already there. So if there is no equipment equipped, then take 1 from the county goods and equip it. Is that what this is doing? Yes, if there's nothing on the population, it's taking the county good and it's applying it. So then we adjust this. I'm going to put a note here, take 1 good away from the county goods. then we can get this thing out of here. If there's no equipment, yeah, so that's what this does. And we're gonna, well, like I said, we'll make this less of a whatever. We could probably return out of here, actually. We could return out of here. Then we're done. Get the fuck out of here. Right? I mean, I guess it gets the fuck out of here anyways. So, because it's not going to do the else. All right, so then it needs to take 0. So what is this checking? If it's already the good names match, so this is if goods are already if the good data is already equipped, then don't do anything. Then this else, so if they don't match, so if the things, if they look at the good names and they don't match, it needs to sign if, whoops, just autopiloting if with the like ready to write an if statement. If the equipment names don't match, then that's actually not what we're checking though. We're just saying in all other cases. So if this equips, if this matches, then in all, this is like kind of like a, but we already know that it has to, that it's, there's something equipped there. So in all other cases, we need to put the equipment back, the population's equipment back, then take the new equipment away from the county goods. So before we do this, we need to take away this thing. No, we need to put this back. Put back the original equipment. So we need to put this here. This is long and ugly. This is wrong as well. So what do we got here? We need to set this. But this is the good data. Yeah, so this is the equipment. So we're passing the county data. This is the equipment that's currently equipped with this slot. Now we need to put a comma, and we need to do 1. Except it doesn't like this. Because this, we need to be passing in a good resource county type. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a long line here. Good. And then we're going to put, so we're adjusting the county amount by 1. We're adding 1 back. With this thing here, with this equipment type, we can make this shorter so this isn't such a fucking long nightmare. But I guess we won't, because I don't want to. Man, you know, what do you get older? Like, there's a lot of things people are like, hey, you want to do, or whatever you encounter besides work. Work, you just got to do what people tell you to do, but you just say like, I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to. Like I feel like a baby, like when you're like 10, I don't want to do that. Now I can just be like, yeah, I don't want to do that, and I just don't do it. Take out the trash. I don't want to do that. Adjust county. Okay, so we're adding 1 to the county with this from their equipment. Actually, no, we do have to use the county good type of what equipment, because this is going to be a different, so it's a different type of equipment. Sorry, there's a lot of different types going on here. From this good to equip, we're getting the equipment type, so like reconnaissance equipment, and then we need to, but it's what's equipped in that slot. And then we get the good type of that, which could be, right now it's canned goods or primitive scouting equipment. So then we get what's there and we put it back. Then we equip the new good to equip on the player, or not on the player, on the population data. So we've done that. Then we need to, well, this can be deleted. Then we need to subtract this. This is going to be a -1. There's got to be a way to make this look better, by the way. It's got to be. We will get this to it. Okay, so I think we take the original. We're using this from this equipment. You know, we don't have to do all of this because we know what this is. What do you want? County resource type? Wait, is that really called a county resource type? Jesus Christ. Can't get the fucking word county resource type out of resource. So this good to equip is, even though we're equipping it here, we could probably put this up here. Just so that we are doing these. And this can go up here. Put back originally equipped equipment. Put, get the equipment from the county goods. Equip the new to the population. I don't know why I put a space there. I think we're getting close. That is some ugly ass code. Oh shit. I missed my break. I was concentrating or something. Thank you, by the way, Casper. I didn't say that. That you're on to something. It hates my enums. But I love my enums. Okay, so canned goods and fish. I'm going to take a break in a second. Did I take a break at 2 hours? Did I already take a break? I did. I already took a break. That was only 15 minutes ago? Wait. Why does my brain not work? How'd you feel? What do you feel about it from the beginning? The beginning of the Godots? All right, so we got the fish, we got the can. I'm still thinking, like, did I take a break or not? I cannot believe how shitty. I know I've complained about this continually today. Oh, hey, my auto mod deleted, blocked somebody from some spammer. So I have a couple of different reasons for this. Now I'm just clicking on the wrong thing over here. So I came from Unity, which is C sharp. Yeah. So that was the first thing. And so I don't plan on getting a development job or a programming job. But I want to keep my options open, I guess. You know, and I think GD script is currently unemployable. If you know that, like it doesn't give you any opportunities. I'm 51, and I feel like that's not something I'm not gonna be switching. I hope to just work at the same job until I die. I guess I have to work till I'm dead now. That's how it works now. You never get to retire. You just work till you die. And so I want to do that at the same place. That'd be great. I'd stay awake. So I'd love to. But yeah, I don't. I feel like GD script doesn't. If you put that on your resume, it wouldn't improve anything. And though like I said, I'm hoping to work in the same place till I die. You never know what can happen. And maybe next week I'm canned, and they're like, oh, I need to brush up my resume, and I think C sharp. I could you can lie on your resume. I'll be like, been using C sharp since 1947. Master of Visual Studios without an S at the end, something like that. I know how to refactor code. That's everything. But yeah, so when I first tried GD script or Godot many years ago, and I gave up after like 2 days or something. Right, great problem solver, friendly to work with, great personality. I didn't know that the Python thing, and so the first day I was just like Googling GD script whatever, and then once I figured out the Python thing, that they're very similar, it made troubleshooting or learning much easier. But yeah, Python is definitely on there. So that would be another lie you'd have to put on your resume. You'd be like master of Python and GD script or something. But yeah, I just think it's more employable. We did it one time. Let's do it again. GD script jobs. Senior Godot developer. This pays okay. It's more than me. I get 70 grand a year. I know there's this, you're not supposed to talk about how much you get paid, but I feel like everyone should always talk about how much they get paid. Because otherwise, how are you going to know when you're getting screwed? So what's this dude? GameView LLC is rewriting the playbook, turning multi-camera video into real-time 3D scenes. Where's Joker? Is he still in chat? Here he goes. He would be. This is like a good fit for him. Right, exactly. Well, look at this. This says 120 to 150, and this, where'd it go? Is different. Is it in person? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. In Texas? You'd have to pay me like $500K a year to live in Texas. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so that one's off the table. A drone show. Let's see what this one says. Software engineer, C++, C. I wonder why GD script came up on here. Huh. Let's look at, well, it auto-populated Godot. So you got one, but you have to live in the hellhole of Texas. No offense to the Texans. I don't want to get shot. I love Texas. It's the best place. Weekend game design instructor. $15 to $30 an hour. Joker, I just said this is, here you go. This is perfect for you. Except you have to live in Texas. I mean, it's got all the insurance stuff. 100, well, it says here 116K. Senior Godot to lead rendering and interactivity for game view. You'll wield Godot to transform video-driven 3D scenes, and whatever that is, into immersive experiences. Sync with our C++ ML pipeline and Qt UI. Yeah, that is definitely a thing. I remember back in the Linux days, and I'm sure you could still do this. Or I mean, it still exists, but back in the Linux days, you could get Linux for free. Obviously, you still can. But like Red Hat and stuff, their selling point was that you could buy the support. You could pay for support of Red Hat. Like that was its selling point, is you would have someone to go to. And so yeah, Godot, it would be hard to. But Helldiver 2 is built on some obsolete engine, and I guess it's not supported anymore. And they're able, that's considered a success. There's a real-time game engine qualification in there. Which did I miss? Was it in this one, or was it? I think that Unity's probably would be the big one. I'm still shocked that Tarkov is made in Unity. The second listing. This one? A PhD? A PhD? A PhD? Get the fuck out of here. That's insane. Okay, well, it depends on the job, I guess, but that just seems crazy to me. It does. It just, yeah, that like, man. Have experience with compiled language. What is this job though? What is it? What are they making? Related to physical simulations, protective design, or structural engineering. Towards this, the engineer could have operated. Well, I guess I don't know what, but look at this. That's not for a PhD. Sorry, I got single wings. I got like bold. In bold. Not this one though. Weekend game design. I don't see it. It's one of those things that's hard to go from like chat. A drone show designer. Oh, the description, it says that? Oh, it does. Real-time game engines. It's like any of them. Huh. So that's also, I can't click on it. What? That's also like a weird thing to have, like, in your job stuff. Is just like, yeah, whatever, just any game engine, we don't give a fuck. Like, what are you actually doing? Like, I would prefer, if I was, actually applying for this job, to know, unless they want all three, etc. All three plus etc. I would want to know exactly what they want. Yeah, this is a weird one. What is this? It doesn't say where you're located. Glendale, California. Oh, that could be true. That they're like, we don't really care which one you use, but if you're comfortable with Godot, then do it. That's true. Let's go to this website. What do these guys do? So they're an engineering and scientific consulting firm that's founded in 1945. So these guys they're like aerospace and defense. Okay, all right. So the PhD thing does make more sense, but even so, it's not a very high in pay for a PhD thing. You know what I mean? Wonder why this tab's muted. Was this thing making noise at some point? I was like, fuck you. All right, what programming? What was I doing programming wise? All right, did we test this? We didn't test it. Where's the game at, right? Oh, maybe we did test it. Let's just restart it. I got sidetracked talking about jobs. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So if it is like what you're comfortable with, then it makes more sense. I'm trying to think what this was for. This is like 20 years ago. I applied for a job that was similar. It was like they needed something done, and they didn't care how you did it as long as you could get it done. And it was some sort of data collection thing, but I remember it was from Access files, Microsoft Access. All right. Click. We've used 2. Let's look at the goods. Can, fish. We go back to you. Now we've used primitive and fish. Fingers crossed. Canned goods back, fish. Yes. Yes, it's working. Now we just need to test what happens at 4 a.m. Does the fucking game implode? No implosions. Oh, we ate some of the fish. We ate some of the fish, so that's okay. I think this works. I thought I got rid of this. I remember now I did not. No, I did. Offensive. I guess I didn't. When I started, Godot wasn't listening to any of my searches. I mean, it's good, but like back to where the whole reason I brought that up was for Casper. I just feel like you would have more job opportunities. But once again, I don't want to change jobs. It'd be nice if I could retire, but that's never going to happen, especially in the current climate. Work until we die. And I don't know if I've already said this to chat, but I was thinking about the first person to tell someone that they need to wake up at a certain time, like set your alarm clock for 8 a.m. They should have killed that person right then. The first time it happened. I think I did say this to chat. So the first time someone said you need to wake up at a certain time, everyone should have just killed that person. And it would have solved so many issues. Joker, the 250. No, I have not heard about the $250 bill. You like getting up, having someone else crack the whip on you? Steak wings. All right. No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't work. It's just telling you to wake up at a specific time. Yeah, like just telling you that you have to wake up and be at work on a specific time. I don't know how to declare signals. Wired up, refer to linked scenes. So signals I actually use a lot. Signals are pretty cool, and I think actually Joker helped me write my first custom signal for C#, and it also was pretty easy. And I was dreading it because I thought it would be a pain in my ass. The signals are like this. These are all signals. These little symbols. You go to your like node. I'm reading chat over there. So you can do it in both. Joker's like probably the most knowledgeable about those, about the two of the people here in chat that I know who are in chat. What is your currently, Joker? What is your opinion on C# versus GD script? I don't know if it's changed. I know his opinion, I think, but if you know C# pretty well, I would just stick with C#. Some of the things, you know, in the issue that I put in, people were saying like just don't use Godot collections to solve a lot of my problems. And so I was using lists originally, but certain stuff is Godot collections are required. So you would be. Do you know Python already, Casper, or anyone in chat? I always feel bad when I calls like I point like you to you. All right, let's do this. Let's go look at these for a second because I think some of these are just going to be like quick changes to fix these, and they're starting to drive me nuts here. Let's run this every time though, every change. You know some Python single winks? Your main thing though, single winks though, is JS, right? So, Kazar, that's definitely the problem I've run into a lot. Is that there's more tutorials and stuff on with the GD script, and I think I was saying this last stream or last weekend or the weekend before that I wish that Godot would not put a tiny amount of money to the side to help fund people who make tutorials and stuff in both. Like I think they should not, you know, just do like GD script or whatever, but they should do both just to help make it so that new people can find the shit, you know. We're just going to click around real quick. I just want to make sure we didn't get any major bugs from this change. It shouldn't matter, but so what do you want me to do? Can you really though? I don't believe you, but let's see what happens. I think this has happened in the past. Yeah, JS makes you tingle. What was that thing we just suggested? It was a new copy of good data. So that should have already been fired like 40 times at this point. So we would have had problems by this point if that affected anything. Namespace, what's your problem? Oh, okay. So this is the thing. We're going to have to come back to this. This, what does it want to put in here? It wants something dumb. Like to put, yeah. So I think what happens with this is that I need to rebuild the C# project because I added this folder later. So we'll do that, but not right now. Maybe tomorrow we'll try to get the Godot folder out of here. What do you want? What? I don't want to do that. That looks, I'm not even going to test. No, I'll test it. I think I learned a little bit of C 30 years ago. We're just clicking around again. We'll unpause it. I've learned my lesson to not change these and not run the game. I mean, when I change these to not run the game immediately afterwards. because if I don't, then if I don't, it breaks, and I don't know it's broken. Then like 10 minutes from now, I'm like, why is everything broken? All right, that one looks good. Unnecessary assignment of value to population data. Oh, these are just some tests of something. We could probably just comment this whole thing out here. Instead of having it do a for loop or for each through a bunch of nothings. This is where it's going to add those dots. And that I don't like. But we'll do it anyways. I just got to adjust, right? I just got to... What was this one's problem? Oh, we're returning something. It wanted me to add that. Wait. No. Is there something like GD unit? Don't know if it works with C#. What is GD unit? So there's a lot of C# things coming that have been. I need to check around again. I have been not looking at that many tutorials, but I need to I need to get back into looking, especially because we're gonna jump into the multiplayer, which is gonna be a fucking nightmare. What's up with you guys? It says, so we created this. Oh, do I not need this? No, I need that. Use switch and expression. What is up with this? Am I doing something weird with this switch? Oh, yeah. It was, I've never used this before. What is this thing? Oh, I've never done this. This is a switch. This is a switch that VS suggested I make look like this. Whatever it does. I'm not going to put that there. Yeah, I ran into the same issue, Casper, where like I would Google, I'd be like, oh, here's the solution to how I do this, and then ChatGPT also, like a year ago, would often return when you would say C#, it would return GD script, even though you would say C#, but now it's gotten much better. I don't know if you use any of the AI stuff. So what is this thing's problem? Unnecessary, aren't we returning this? Let's come back to that. I don't even want to mess with it. What do you want? Remove unused parameter. All right, we can do that. It's gonna break something else though. Oh, I didn't run this either. This is that weird. It's gonna do the dots thing. I just gotta get used to it. I was scared. All right, so we're back to this weird return personality. Okay, so we're returning. See, now I'm not used to it. Let's fix this. Let's go back. Can we go back? I think I'm returning the wrong thing is what's happening. Shouldn't this be I personality? No. Let's go back and look at the switch before I did this weird thing to it. Okay, so it's returning a new personality. It's checking this personality. So it checks this personality, but it returns these things. But it seems to... I had a feeling this was going to pop up eventually. There'd be something that would pop up eventually there. So this is an I personality. This is an I personality. We're passing in a personality. This is a little bit confusing. I originally picked some crazy shit to try to make Godot 3D stuff. This is biting off more than I can chew, but at least it's not 3D. And that was like, it was really painful. Actually, that was in Unity before I switched over. So this takes this thing. It takes the personality that we're passing into it. And so what this thing does is because we can't save interface to disk, we got to save this thing called personality, which is an enum. So we have this personality, and we're checking the switch. And if the personality is defensive, unnecessary assignment of value to I personality. I don't understand why it's saying that. Because it's returning that. You don't know if I'm using that. Maybe it does. What if we do this differently? What if we go like this? Just to see. Return I personality. I'm looking at this list of people. I don't know if I've looked at any of those. Do you think Joker or anyone in chat actually that the community is growing? I feel like it is. I feel like I've seen more C# people. You know, Godot community in general, but I also feel like I've seen more C# people much more recently than it used to be. You know, like a unicorn, as they would say. So I think this return is weird, is what's going on here. Couldn't you also just take... Oh, no, they break out. Okay, no. So let's just do this. Let's just make it so these things go. I personality. So they just stop with their nonsense errors. They may not be nonsense with their errors, though. I personality. All right, and that leaves us with this last one, and I don't want to do the rebuilding the thing right now. Yeah, I feel like I've raided a couple of people too, and I was surprised. I played that Road to Vostok game, by the way. That's made in Godot. It's a 3D. It's a first-person shooter made in Godot. Road to Vostok. This game right here. It's like a single player. It's kind of like Stalker. Yeah, so I finally downloaded it and played it. I think he's a demo or something. Yeah, I played the demo. It's very early. Very, very early. But I was, people say it's impossible. Yeah. Since it has a demo, I highly recommend everyone check it out. But I mean, I watched a video on it, and I don't know, it seemed much more polished in the video, but once I was in control, I was like, whoa, this is early. Like, because you're watching, you're not seeing them pushing the buttons, and seeing the amount of jank they're putting up with. Yeah, it's pretty early. You can still like get in gun battles and stuff though. It's kind of scary actually. Like kind of like that on purpose. All right, we did that crap. Let's go back and see what's next on the list here. Because we remove equipment from inventory, we have that working. We can close this. We can close this ticket. Add equipment back to, we did that. We're going to close that. We need to, Hallmaster needs the method that adjusts the county. We have that now. And we need to make sure we use that going forward. Let's delete this other one that we did. We had this. This should go away. We don't need that anymore. Place goods in storage. Those should not be in use. That's gone. So, it's interesting that debugging with in here, I couldn't get it to work, but someone helped me one time, and when he updated the project, his had this in here, and now it works. I can like debug. I can run it from VS and stuff, though it acts differently. There was something crazy that would happen. I forget what it was when I did that. Oh, now I have the wrong version. I gotta update that in my settings. Speaking of that. Speaking of that. There we go. How does it feel jumping into a new project? I know I was pretty apprehensive, but it started to feel good, like pretty quickly. Just even though I didn't know what the fuck I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I guess a new thing, new stuff is fun. And like we were talking about my shitty memory earlier, I've been whining about my shitty memory, but I think it's probably good for your brain too to. You know what I need at the end of that? Is an EXE thing, I'm pretty sure. It used to work. Yeah, so I couldn't get the breakpoints to work because I didn't know what I was doing, but then eventually, what was the weird thing it would do? It does it a different way. I wonder if this would have helped me with my errors. I'm moving this to my other monitor. I can't see chat right now. With those errors, the 32 errors. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to get familiar with that. Jane, how's it going? Is that true though? I feel like I have a programming friend. He may just be a know-it-all, but he feels like he feels like he seems to know what he's doing. The impression, it's the same complaint about like he has a lot of confidence in his replies when I ask him questions about stuff, or when he just talks about programming in general. He's a full stack programmer, he says. So I'm definitely pretty noob still, but seeing the old stuff is that is absolutely strange. So what were we doing here? We're back here. We did this. This was already done. I already wrote it, and I just didn't know I wrote it. So let's look at that, though, because I immediately found another one that we were using. Where was that? That was under calculate work to goods production. It was, you know, we also, though, there's also, like, we're generating, oh, we do. I did have this here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people are going to learn from anything I'm doing. Well, learn not how to do things. I think, like things that you shouldn't do. The resource copying has come up many times, and I think that that's something that people have learned from. That is a real issue. Nobody cared about your old videos, Joker? I don't believe you. I looked at them. I've looked at them a bunch of times. So we do have this used here, but we also use scavenging. Well, what about even like occasional needs? Possibly use, what are we using here? Look at this. There's another one that's in county data called remove resource from county. Oh my God. What does this do? So this is the same exact thing. So this is the same exact thing, but I just have it in two different spots. I'm doubling up on, they're different names, but they're See, the thing is, I forget that I wrote that, and I say, wait, it's weird that I don't have a method for this, and then I write a new one. But this one actually has an interesting point to it. Sorry, I'm staring at this, sitting in silence here, staring at this. Oh, okay, so this is inside this, we're in county data here, and we're checking to see if the currently selected county is this county. And if it is, then we update the top bar. And it says update the top bar if the player has a county selected. But that's not going to work. Here, we're talking about looking at old code. I mean, it's going to work, but it's not going to work how we... So that's going to... If we're... I'm just going to sit here and wait for this thing to run again. If we are... clicking on this one, we don't own this county, and it shouldn't update the top bar. You know, I wonder if I have, like, this is supposed to update the top bar, and then there's like some sort of check in here, like, is this a player's top bar? Well, you know, that's weird. See, I hate when I do this, when I notice stuff like this, because there's a reason this is here, and if I adjust it, it's going to break something. but I also want to delete this and put this in the hall master now. And this probably needs to be in there. But what other weird shit side effects is it gonna do? Let's do this. I saw a thing. Let's put this GD print over here. Then let's go back over here. If the left equals this county node, I'm gonna call it a day in a second here. Yeah, it does. So it's the top bar expendables has been updated. Well, I'm gonna make this so that it's changed. They should be different here. Let's speed this up, let a couple days around here. Okay, that's enough. All right, I found a bug. I found a bug in my code. I found a bug in my code that it's shocking that I found a bug in my code. Okay, so we're gonna do this though. Not right now. We're gonna remove this. We're gonna take it. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna put this in my because I gotta push code and stuff. So this is all related. I don't want to get too. Yeah, it needs to be like it should only be updating for the players stuff, and instead it's updating for everyone's. Like this is maybe it's just something I hadn't I was like, oh, I'll do it later. But we shouldn't be able to see the faction or this county level, this county's. Oh, that may have been what's going on. Because we are also able to see these. I wonder if I was just like, oh, I'll do this later. That could have been what this is. Because it also makes it harder to test stuff. So like when we click on this, we're seeing this county's stuff on the top bar, but we shouldn't because this is not our county. These three are some other faction's county, AI faction too. I wonder if it shows there. So we got 474. Okay, and this does show our faction stuff though. I'm just gonna put a note in and make sure that I do have this listed somewhere because if I might not notice it again, but we're gonna change that too. I guess here, no, definitely not there. Factions, county info panel, nope, top bar. Currently, actually, let's do this. This is what we're gonna do. Back over to here. Move to Hall Master. Fix top bar updating. Blank issue. Create. Move to top. This is what we're going to do tomorrow, first thing. Because we have duplicate methods. They're called different things, but we'll do that first, and then... Are we done with hero inventory? Did we just finish it? I didn't... I think we just finished that. Walter? We know how many days have we let pass here? Day 2. Let's test Walter here with a change. So canned good. It's gonna be hard to tell though because we probably scavenged some canned goods. Whoops. Yeah. Well, 112. Whoops. I didn't look at how many primitive, but I don't think we made any. So that's we finished that. So what we'll do tomorrow, let's do this. I'm shocked. Are we really done with that? I guess we are. Oh, no. We haven't checked. What if we spawn this guy? And we go over here. How many goods do we have over here? See, this is going to be kind of hard to test. What if we send him over here? Is he going to take their stuff? We can't see their stuff, though, I don't think. No, we can't look at their stuff. Let's see what happens if we try. Oh, we can't look at him either. Well, that's a bug. Or maybe that was on... I remember looking at this last week, too, and I was like, is this broken? I think this was... No, that's definitely broken. We need to fix that. So basically, we just need to do more testing on this. Let's edit this. This just needs to be tested a lot. I don't think we're actually done. Looks done, but needs more testing, especially in other enemy faction counties. So we need to make it so they can't take the stuff out of other... And we definitely have not done that. So I'll actually just put this in here. Make sure heroes can't take goods, equipment from enemy faction counties. But we're close, actually, with that. And then what we'll do is we'll push to main, we'll do the build again, and then we'll move on to the exploration of a county, which was the whole point of all of this crap. And we'll fix that. Yeah, we probably can do these tomorrow, I hope. But let's stop all this stuff. And I do want to get to this, getting the Godot folder out of the GitHub, because it causes all of this. And all I got to do, I guess I have to go to using git child, which I don't like, but I'll get used to it. So what did we do today? Added taking and giving equipment to counties. We'll commit that. With all my yammering, my jawing, I'm surprised we got that done. I don't feel like raiding anybody today. We'll raid somebody tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for the conversation. I love you. Love talking. You know, I almost said I love you guys, but I mean, whatever. Anyways, Jane, thank you for the follow too. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your